We have all those wonderful keyframes that were generated. Now we're going to add text. My idea is to make it look like the text lands on the branch and kind of moves with the branch in the breeze. With my text tool, I'm going to type the word spring. I just want to make it easy to see. So I'm going to make it a bold sans serif font, and let's make it a bright color so it's easy to see. Nice and bright. I would like it to curve slightly with the branch. So with the spring text selected, I'm going to select my pen tool. When this layer is selected and I create a vector object, the vector object will become a mask in the layer. So I'm creating a path, just like 3 or 4 points that describe the curve of the branch. You can change to your selection tool and adjust it. I don't want it too curved because it will become the baseline of my text, and the angle or tilt of the text might cause interferences on the top or bottom of the letters if the angle is too great. So I want to make a gentle slope, and I went from left to right. So I made my path from left to right about 4 points, much longer than the word. So now I'm going to open up my text layer and go into path options. In my spring layer, I open up text and then path options, and under path I can assign it to be mask 1, and it conforms to mask 1. I would like my word to begin in a darker place just so that there's better contrast for people to read the first letter of spring. So I have a nice contrasted area, spring. What I did was I went to first margin, and if you see this double-sided arrow, I can scrub the text along my path, right? If I keyframe this first margin value, of course that's a way to make text move along a path. Today we're not going to do that, we just want the curve from the path. I'm going to transfer the motion information, the position keyframes generated from my motion tracker of my branch footage, to my spring text. So I'm going to select my spring text. I'm going to need my tracker back, window tracker. I'm going to have the spring text selected. The motion source is branch. Now these are the keyframes, right, that I want to transfer from my footage to my graphics. So I'm going to say edit target, and the target is going to be spring. There are times where you're going to have multiple layers and you can choose, but this time we're going to choose spring. Make sure your timeline marker again is at the beginning of the footage, and then I'm going to say apply. It says apply dimensions X and Y. Yes. This question is a clue. You can apply the motion tracking to only X or only Y, or to both. Today we're going to apply to both. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to play my footage and see if it worked. The information, the position information keyframes have been transferred to my spring text. We click on my layer. I'm going to close these, and we hit P. You'll see all these keyframes, they were transferred from branch to spring. I noticed that spring is a little low. It shifted a little bit. To move all your position keyframes at once, you can click on the word position like this. When you click on the word position, you see how all the position keyframes became selected. Now I'm going to use my keyboard arrow keys, and I'm going to shift all those keyframes at once. Make sure you have all your keyframes selected before you shift them, because if you only shift one keyframe, it'll just look like a jump, like a blip. If you shift all of them by clicking on the word position, you can change them all, and let's play it just to be sure it's working. I think that position is better. And I'm going to deselect. I deselect the position keyframes. So we've done a lot. We've added the tracking information to our spring text. We've adjusted the position. My idea is to have the letters fly in or fall in one at a time and start moving with the branch. I'm going to select my spring text and say Edit, Duplicate, or Command D. And I can just do that on my keyboard, Command D, Command D. I'm going to do that 6 times for the 6 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. I have 7 springs. I'm going to turn off my duplicate springs so I only see my original. I'm going to click on the original. This will become my template layer. I'm going to make it look different for me to tell that it's a template layer. I'm going to change the color in my character menu, change it to blue, a little darker, and I can also make it slightly transparent, just so it looks very different. So this original spring, the bottom one, which is the only one that I have on right now, is my template. And if you want, you can lock it. I'm going to turn on my first duplicate. I'm seeing 3 layers, my first duplicate, my original spring, and my branch. I'm going to make it just the letter S. So with my type tool on my first duplicate spring, I'm just going to delete everything but the S. So now I'm going to turn that off, turn on the next layer, and this time with my type tool, I'm going to delete and RING. So you notice now my P is offset from the P of my template. This is something we can fix by going into text, path options, and I'm going to move the first margin. Remember, we just used first margin. I'm going to slide the P along the path. What is nice about first margin is that it slides the letter along the path. So now I have the P overlapping the P of the template. So this layer only has the P, and it's overlapping the layer of the template. So now I'm going to turn that off. You can probably guess what I'm going to do next. I'm going to jump forward a bit to when all the letters are done in the same way. You can see that now I have different letters, S-P-R-I-N-G, and when I play, they all follow the